In this video clip we're going to look at PhD number 4, and that's reversing to the left, okay, or to the right in that case. You could get either or, reversing to the left or to the right. We're going to stick with the left today. There is a previous clip with regards to the turn the road exercise and a little bit of introduction with that as well. So that covers the kind of personal greeting and the kind of aims and objectives and plan of action of kind of all the manoeuvres. They're very much the same as you drive to the area. It's only when you get to the area they're going to be a little bit different, and that's where you give the brief for that particular lesson, whatever it might be on. So we're going to stick with reverse to the left today, okay, and we're going to pretend that we've driven to the area and we've just pulled up. We've had a bit of a recap on the drive there. There shouldn't be too much of a problem, maybe a bit of clutch control or a bit excessive on the gas or something like that. So nothing of great concern really, but it's just to give you an idea that his control's not very good. That's the whole point of him being, you know, on the lesson. So yeah, that with regards to all the manoeuvres, he's got no control of the car, or very little control of the car. His observations aren't going to be very good, and he's got no reference to guide him. So that's where you come in to try and sort that out for him, basically. Okay. So yeah, we're going to take it that we've already driven to the area, and we're going to start with the main brief for that particular exercise. Okay. So we're just going to enter roll, and again, I'm going to play the part of the two characters, and we'll see how that goes from there. Okay. Right then, John. So now we've actually reached the area, we're going to give you the full brief on how to reverse round the corner. Okay, so if you look ahead of us just now, you'll see again a junction on the left, and it's very much the same as what we have here. We've got a junction on the left hand side, so that's what we can see at the moment. What we're going to do is drive forward past that junction and reverse back into it. Okay, now can you think of the purpose of this exercise? Well, not really. I only ever see learner drivers doing this exercise. Well, that's true. You don't very often see people reversing around corners, but it's very much the same skills as reversing a driveway. Yeah. So if you've got a limited opening on the left or right hand side, if you're reversing a driveway, it's exactly the same skills as we're doing here. But we can't go reversing into people's driveways, so we do it on the road, and that's the real main reason. It's all about controlling the car and putting it into a tight space, basically. Okay. It can also be used to turn the car around, as well as turning in the road. It might not be safe to turn in the road, and it might actually be a case that you have to reverse around the corner instead. So it is a way of turning the car around, but yeah, it's a reversing skill that's very important in all types of driving, basically, especially after you pass your driving test, when you're having to reverse into your driveway, for instance. Okay, so the location's the other thing. Remember, have you done any other manoeuvres before? Oh, we've done the straight line reversing. So that's good, that'll come in handy today. But we've got the safe, legal and convenient. That comes in with all the manoeuvres. So you've got S, L and C. Okay, safe, legal and convenient. Okay, that's what you're looking for all the manoeuvres. So can you tell me an unsafe place to reverse around the corner? What do you think would be an unsafe place? Oh, maybe on a bend. Exactly, yeah. If there's a junction on the bend, or if it's hidden, it's not a very good, safe place to do it. Yeah, absolutely. How about an illegal place? What would be an illegal place to do it? Oh, I don't know. Maybe if there's a bus stop or something like that. Well, possibly. Yeah, absolutely. There could be a bus stop. Right, there shouldn't be, but there might be. Yeah. There could be an aspect where it's a no entry. If it's no entry into the road, yeah, then you wouldn't be allowed to reverse back into it. Yeah. And how about convenient? What are you looking for convenient? Oh well, maybe not if it's busy. Yeah, it's a relatively quiet road. You don't want to do it in a busy road. You want a quiet road to do that. Yeah. So yeah, you're going to find a safe, legal, and convenient place to do that. And with regards to your seatbelt, what was said to you last time about your seatbelt when you were doing the straight line reverse? Oh, he said I could take it off. Yeah, you can actually. Did you take it off or did you leave it on? I think I left it on actually. I can't quite remember. Well, it's either or. I personally leave it on. If you can do it with it on and it doesn't bother you, then it's quite a good idea to leave it on. sometimes it cuts into your neck and it really bothers people. And that's when it's a good idea if you want to take it off. So you can maybe try it with it on and see how it goes. And if you feel that it is bothering you, you can then maybe take it off, because the idea is that you don't want to take it off unless it's absolutely necessary to take it off, because you can always forget to put it back on again, and that's what we don't want to do. Okay. And our seating position. What was our seating position when you're doing the straight line reverse? Oh, I had to turn slightly in my seat, and my hand was at 12 o'clock. Okay, good. Well, that's the same thing as today. Right, it's exactly what we're going to do today. Okay, we're going to have that seating position in the same place. But first of all, we have to get to our starting position. So our starting position is, on the diagram here, is over there. Okay, so we have to drive past the junction, okay, and then reverse back into it. Okay, so as we drive past it, we're going to glance and have a look and see if there's any problems there and make sure it is safe. What would make it unsafe? Another question, what would make it unsafe? Well, I don't think it's one way. Well, it's not a no entry or anything. Well, there could be a parked car there. So there's a parked car quite close to the junction. That would make it unsafe. Oh, right. I see what you mean there. So that's the thing. We're going to drive past it. Have a glance at it. Not a look, not a stare, just a glance. Okay. Make sure it's safe and then pull up on the other side. Okay. So you've got the normal P, O and M for moving away, and your normal M, S, M for stopping. Okay, the only difference is when we stop, we're going to be about 1 to 2 car lengths on from the junction, okay, and slightly out from the curb. Okay, so can you see the grate that's on the road there where the wee drain is? Aye, I can see that. Well, instead of using the curb as your parking reference, okay, we're going to use the edge of the grate. Okay, so you line up whatever your parking reference is on the window, yeah, you line it up with the curb normally. So instead of using the curb, we're going to use that grate. Or even, you can see the different shade of tarmac. Yeah, that different shade of tarmac that comes out from the curb, that's about a foot out from the curb. So you could use that instead. And that's going to get you in the right position. So you're slightly further out than a parking position, and that allows the car to manoeuvre a bit, allows the wheel to turn. Okay, so shall we do that first? Alright, yeah, okay, no bother. So there, you'd go on, you'd drive past the junction, and you'd end up in this position here. Okay. And you turn it over, and then you're ready to start for the next bit. Okay, so right then, John, we've gone past the junction. We know that it's safe to turn into. Okay, so we're going to try and reverse round here. So a couple of things to bear in mind. We've got 2 straight line reverses and then 1 curve. Okay, so you've already done the straight bit. So from there to there, okay, and then from there to there, it's just straight. So that's stuff you've already done before. Okay. The only problem is the actual corner itself. Okay. And that's where you have to be a little bit careful as you go round that corner. So we're going to reverse the car in a straight line, nice and slowly. How slow were you moving the last time? Oh, it was slow. Aye, yeah, it was slow. Well, if you imagine an old man with his Zimmer frame walking along the road, yeah, he should beat us to that corner. Yeah, that's how slow you want to go. Using that clutch control, what we call the pound coin method. Ever heard of that before? Oh, I don't think so. No, pound coin method. Doesn't ring a bell. Well, the pound coin method is when you find the biting point with the clutch pedal, you then either raise it or dip it the width of a pound coin to either go or slow. So you take it up a pound to go and down a pound to slow. So we can discuss that if there's any issues with it. We'll have a look at that, see how you're doing it to begin with, and if there's any issues we can discuss that a bit further. Okay, so we're going to take the car back in a nice straight line to the apex of the corner where it starts to bend. Now there's 2 types of corners that we've got to think about. There's the 90-degree corner that we have here, and there's also the 50p piece corner. That's the one that bends twice, so it looks like a 50p piece. Yeah, that kind of hexagon shape. So the point of turn is going to differ, and it actually bends twice. Now the corner we have is very much a 50p piece corner, okay, but that helps us with the steering because it gives a bit of guide with that. So with a 50p piece corner, you're looking for a 3/4 turn on the wheel, and then with a 90-degree corner, you're looking for a full turn on the wheel. And then as you go round, you have to reassess that and decide how much more or less you need to use. Okay, but we can discuss that again on the move as we're going round the corner. Because every corner is a little bit different, so we don't really know how much to steer. So we need to get to the point of turn. Okay, so we're going to use this 50p piece corner here. So our point of turn is going to be there. Okay, so as you move back out the rear side window, or out the rear window, you're going to see the curve there just now. And what happens is it moves across the window disappears behind the pillar and reappears in the side window. Okay, and you'll also be able to see past the corner as well. So the idea is the car comes to when the back end of the car lines up where the curb starts to go round the corner. Okay, so I'm going to help you with that and give you a bit of guidance with that as you start to go round. Okay, I'll tell you when to stop and we'll find a reference for you. So once we go round the corner, once we reach our point of turn, we're going to check around, make sure it's safe, and if it is safe, we're going to continue to follow the round. So it's very important to check because you've got this diagram up here where the nose swings out. Okay, so we've got to be very careful that we make sure it's safe as you go round it. And every 2 or 3 feet as you go round the corner, we're going to check and look and make sure that nothing else has come and we're still safe to go around it. And again, that helps with our steering as well to assess whether we have to steer a bit more or a bit less. As you start to get round the corner, okay, the curb starts to move back across in towards the back window, and again it comes back into the same place as it was. So once it gets back to the same place, you straighten up your wheels and you should be nice and straight in the new road. Now you might be, in a really nice position. It might be a little bit close to the centre line, it might be a little bit close to the curb, but the idea is that you're going to take the car back 3 or 4 car lengths in, and we're going to adjust our position if necessary to bring it nice and close to the curb. Again, about a foot away from the curb really. Okay, so our steering goes from 10 o'clock to 2 o'clock. Yeah, if we have to just adjust it, we just adjust it a little bit and we take it nice and close to the curb, 3 or 4 car lengths back. Now if a car comes from behind us, what we don't want is for this situation here, because you can see the dangers of that. Okay, so what's important is that we have a look and we check and we see if any cars are coming. If there are any cars coming behind us, we'll stop, okay, and then make the car safe and then see what they're doing. Okay, if they're already coming through and past us, there's not a lot we can do about that. If they're waiting behind us, we'll have to go back to the starting point. Okay, allow them to go past and then we carry on again. So a couple of things to bear in mind: slow is beautiful, okay, and pause and look around every 2 to 3 feet as you go round that corner. Okay, any questions with that? No, I think that's fine. Okay, so there we are. That gives you an idea of how to deliver that brief for the reversion to the left exercise. Okay, thank you.